and welcome to the first update video for my read-along of Bloodlines by Richelle Mead that I am doing with TEMECKA'S. Let me first say, I apologize. I have been pronouncing your name wrong. And I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. Will you forgive me, please? Because I was watching your read-along intro video and you said your name and I went... I literally face-palmed. So I'm really sorry. I will not mess it up again. I promise. So Bloodlines is the first book in the Bloodlines series, which is a spin-off of the Vampire Academy series written by Richelle Mead. This book follows Sydney Sage as our main character, along with some other supporting characters that we had in our Vampire Academy series. And some of those include Adriana Voshkov, Jill Mastrano, Eddie Castillo, and Abe Mazur. Dun dun dun. Yeah, he's back. Quick warning before we get started with all of this here. There will be spoilers for both Vampire Academy and for this Bloodlines series up to the point that I've read, obviously. So if you haven't read either, I would go now. Like, bye. Go read it. If you haven't read the Vampire Academy series, go read it now. And then start on Bloodlines and you can read along with us. Because those books won't take you long, I promise. Once you get really into them, it's just like, it sucks you in. You really want to get in there. So while you go read, I will be right here waiting. I'm going to have me some wine in my fantastic Spider-Man glass that always makes me happy when I look at it. Because I'm a big Spider-Man fan. Obviously a big Iron Man fan. And you just go read, come back and see me, and let me know what your thoughts are in the comments when you're done. So, I'm gonna... Okay, they're gone, right? Within the first 105 pages, we get an exciting cameo by Miss Rose Hathaway, who is one of my favorite female main characters, if not my favorite female main character. She's snarky, she's sassy, she's badassy, she's sarcastic, she's witty, she's just everything you could ever want in a female main character. So I'm really hoping that Sydney kind of maybe takes on a few of her qualities, because Sydney was not one of my favorite characters in the Vampire Academy series. I didn't really like her at all. Hopefully there's a lot of character growth in this series. Not a whole lot goes on in the first 105 pages. They're just kind of setting up the what's gonna happen in the series, which is to be expected for, you know, a first in a series. I'm wondering how many times I can say series in a video. So if someone counts this, could you comment that? That would be fantastic. But we start off with Sydney being dragged out of bed. She's sent on a mission to help guard Jill Mastrano, who has recently been discovered as being Lissa Dragomir's half-sister kind of situation there. In this first section, it kind of hints at an attack that occurs at the Moroi court on Jill, and that's why it's necessary for them to remove her from Moroi court and move her to a safer location. In this case, they're moving her to Palm Springs. To help kind of cover all of this up, they've enlisted the help of alchemist Sydney Sage, Dom Pierre, Eddie Castillo, and for some reason, Adriana Voshkov is along for the ride. Not that I'm complaining, I'm a big Adrian fan. He's sexy as hell. Except for his alcoholism, and that's another discussion for another time, right? But we get to Palm Springs, and it's vaguely hinting at this attack that happened, and Sydney overhears a conversation between Adrian and Abe that kind of hints at maybe this attack was more dangerous than they let on, maybe something more happened, because it seems to me that there is a 98.2% chance Jill and Adrian are now bound, just from the conversation that kind of goes on between Adrian and Abe. There is another alchemist that comes along with Sydney, and his name is Keith Darnell. There's some sort of animosity between the two. We don't really know what's happened to make them dislike each other. I'm hoping that that is explained more in the rest of the series, in the rest of this book. But you can tell that there's a lot of tension between them. The alchemists have had it set up so that Eddie and Sydney are twins, and Jill is their younger sister, and they're all going to attend this high school called Amberwood. It's a private school in Palm Springs, Florida, and once they get onto campus, we kind of get a description of what it looks like, how the girls' dorm is on the west side of campus and the boys' dorm is on the east side. This doesn't really sit well with Eddie because he wants to be near Jill to protect her, which further kind of solidifies the theory that the attack that happened at the Maroi court was a little more than what they're letting on. During the orientation, Eddie finally meets his roommate because Sydney and Jill will already be rooming together. They don't have to worry about meeting new roommates. Eddie meets his roommate, and his name is Micah. And this part I thought was kind of mean because they made Eddie's roommate look almost exactly like his dead best friend Mason, which I think is just cruel. Why put this boy through more than he's already been through, right? Like, that's just, oh, that's so mean. He meets Micah, and he is completely stunned seeing this boy in front of him who looks very similar to his best friend who passed away in one of the earlier novels of the Vampire Academy series. And Sydney and Jill don't really know what's going on. They see his reaction, but they don't understand it because Micah seems like a perfectly nice guy. So why would he be reacting in the way he's reacting? There's some little comments in here about Sydney's tattoo by some of the other students that just kind of were like, what? Why would you think that kind of things? Like, can you elaborate more on why you would think that? And I have a feeling it's going to more. But they assumed that the golden lily tattoo that she has on her face that basically signifies that she's an alchemist has powers to increase intelligence or something like that. It was insinuated by more than one kind of minor character. But Sydney is highly intelligent anyways, so she's breezing through these classes. But on the first day, her last class is PE, and her and Jill are supposed to have the same PE class. But Jill's not there, so she gets worried, and Eddie hasn't seen her all day, Micah hasn't seen her all day. So she goes and asks where Jill is, if anybody's seen her, and she is told that Jill was sent back to her dorm. So she rushes back to the dorm, makes sure Jill's okay, Jill's laying down fine, and this is what made that 98.2% into a 100% sure that Jill and Adrian are bound. And that is when Jill goes, I got sent back to my dorm because I had a hangover. Jill isn't the drinking type. Sydney'd been with her all night before. There was no way she could have been drinking alcohol. But we do know one particular character who likes to booze it up. And that's Adrian. And he's a spirit user, and he can heal people. So 1 + 1 = 2, people, right? So, all in all, I am thoroughly enjoying this book. I'm hoping that I can get some answers as to what Abe is doing, why people thought that the golden lily tattoo somehow made you hyper-intelligent, and what's kind of going on between Adrian and Jill with their bond there. And just I'm excited to read the rest of this book. So, while you guys go ahead and think on what I've just said here, draw your own conclusions, I'm going to go read some more. So I will see you in my next update video, which will be put up next Friday, and I will see you all later. Bye! So, funny story. I had this filmed like 2 hours ago, computer's being a butthole and decided that all of the videos that I was using for this were corrupt.